Hi, my name is Shoaib Yusuf. I'm a solutions architect for the NetScaler SD-WAN product. I want to highlight a next video here that will demonstrate how to do a physical on-prem appliance cable cut demo. So if you've watched the previous video in terms of zero-touch deployment configuration from an on-prem appliance, you are probably familiar with this topology and how we're able to get and install a remote appliance using the zero-touch deployment process following the configuration of the head-end SD-WAN center to change the config to support this new branch site that we just brought online. So in this demonstration, it's kind of like an extension to that video in that the zero-touch deployment process has been successful. We were able to establish a virtual path across the single internet link to the demo center environment where we can access applications. The next phase to that is essentially bringing this branch office fully online by connecting the second WAN link and also licensing the appliance to get rid of the grace license and install a permanent license on there. After we've done that, we're essentially ready to do some demonstration, similar demonstration that we have in other videos of how we can showcase link aggregation and resiliency using a physical appliance and using essentially a cable, what we call a cable cut demo, where you can physically take down these paths and you still have connectivity and showcasing the demonstration of what SD-WAN does with application reliability to data center. So let's take a look at what we can do here as a next step in licensing this appliance, and we can do that virtually actually or remotely from the data center. So we can log into a VM here and we can access the GUI of the appliance and install the license through the virtual path. So we'll do that next. Okay, in order to connect to that physical appliance that's on-prem through the virtual path, we'll just log into one of the data center VMs here. We'll choose the VDI and we'll log in through the console tab. So essentially you can control, you have connectivity to anything at that branch office utilizing the overlay network. And we'll log in using the user one credentials that are in the provisioning email. Okay, so we'll log in there. But essentially, the zero-touch deployment service was all remotely done, so there's no contact on site to connect to the appliance. So we can utilize the virtual path to get access into that remote office subnet across the virtual WAN over SD-WAN overlay network that we've created. So we'll go ahead and open up a new browser here, and we'll connect to the remote office subnet. And if we look at our topology again, we can take a look at the single appliance on-prem topology. We're going through the virtual path from the data center. We're connecting through the virtual path in the appliance, and we're going to connect to the management interface of 30.11, which is what was assigned by that DHCP server, because that was the first DHCP IP was assigned to the host machine. The second DHCP IP address was assigned to the management IP of the SD-WAN appliance, and this was starting from 10 and the order or working down. So I have access to that IP address going through the virtual path. Okay, so from the data center I'm able to access that IP address, and I can go in and connect into that appliance. Okay, let me zoom this in a bit here on the right side. And we're going to proceed with connecting into that user interface of that local branch appliance. Admin password is the default credentials. Okay, and as we illustrated in the zero-touch deployment demonstration, the appliance after zero-touch process is successful will actually have a grace license installed. So as a SD-WAN admin at the data center, I can log into that appliance through the virtual path, and I can essentially license it. And this process will will just override the grace license, and it will not disrupt the connection that I have across the virtual path, so I won't lose connectivity, which is key. So I have a eval license available that I will install. So I have a 1000 appliance. I will install a 1000 eval license onto this box, which will allow us to do away with the grace license and install a higher throughput 50 megabit per second license onto this branch office appliance. All right, so with that license installed, I can clear that, and now we can see from a virtual path perspective, we essentially are just operating on that one WAN link connecting through to the data center. So if we look at the statistics page, we'll see that this branch office site has connectivity on the internet link up to the data center and back down from the data center to the internet link at the branch, where the secondary WAN link, the LTE link, this one here is not connected yet. So I'm going to navigate to a local desktop. So I'll show the screen of this desktop, and we'll continue with the cable cut demo showcasing the solution. Okay, so what we'll do now is showcase the rest of the demonstration here using the local PC. So from the local PC, we can log into the management interface of our SD-WAN. We can also log into the MCN IP address because we have direct internet breakout. So when we look at our provisioned environment email, we can identify what public IP that is and connect into the head-end appliance. And when we look at the WAN paths, we can see that only one available path is up at this time, just that first internet link. Okay, we can do, and logging into the head-end appliance, we can see the same thing, and we'll use the credentials that are available in the provisioning email. Okay, and I prefer to use the management IP of the SD-WAN appliance in the data center to showcase this demo, and we can filter out for our specific 1000 branch that we have. So I'll just filter out the paths specific to that branch, and all the available demonstrations are available for us. We can go and showcase how we're opening up a incognito window to connect into our video server that's located again in the data center, and we can showcase how that video struggles to buffer and make available the available bandwidth because of the limited link that we have on that single internet link. And then we can go about and add additional WAN links by plugging in, which I'm doing right now, a second WAN link to handle that second LTE connection. An SD-WAN, with it being in an auto refresh enabled state, will put that path into a yellow state before committing traffic to it. But as soon as it's in a available green state, we can see how much faster it's able to download the video and provide a more seamless play of high definition content. Very similarly, you can run the iPerf. So if you have, in this case it's a Mac, so I have a JPerf application installed, and I can connect to the same head-end infrastructure, so I can connect into the iPerf server 192.168.15.9, and I can enable just increase the threshold in terms of the time for this to run. But a TCP 5001 session, I can run iPerf and it will connect to the head-end server, and as this narrows down on the available bandwidth, we can see with our auto refresh enabled on this path, we can see the iPerf results as the traffic goes through the link. And depending on the quality of the link, you may see some instability at first. But if the links are somewhat stable and you're not congesting the links at all, this iPerf should gradually narrow its available bandwidth down to the available speed. Now I am doing a screen recording across GoToMeeting, so this is likely why we're not seeing as stable of speed as possible. But let me go ahead and disconnect the secondary link, and we should see a reduction in the iPerf result. So we can see that the second link I just disconnected, we're getting less availability. But you'll see cleaner reports on your specific tests because you won't have, because I'm running a screen sharing session across GoToMeeting, so that's contending with that traffic a bit. But you should see very similar results, and you could also test the resiliency and link aggregation capability with using that video server. All right, so that concludes this video, and thank you for watching.